Give up boring diets and painful workouts and try this 15-minute trick today. Do you know the secret of 15-minute weight loss? It's not a diet or a workout plan. In fact, any effort made during these 15 minutes will make this not work. Or will even make you gain weight. I'm Cara, and you wouldn't believe how I lost 3 dress sizes worth of ugly fat. This was without any special diet and without any tough workout plan. It's all from 15-minute weight loss. The only rule, and this is important, is that you cannot exercise during these 15 minutes, no matter what. All good? I had tried absolutely everything to lose weight. Keto diet, vegetarianism, low carb, high carb, paleo, fasting, and the weight just wouldn't move. Or it would go down for a little bit, but then shoot right back up again. It was humiliating to have friends say, "Hey, you're looking thinner," just to prove them wrong, when I gained it all back, and even more the next month. It went like this for years. I wanted to make an excuse and say, I just have a thyroid problem. But I couldn't even do that. My doctor said, nothing's wrong with you, you just have to work harder. This was terribly frustrating for me. I was watching my girlfriends date better guys while I had to settle for whoever was left. And I hated being known as the fat chick in the group. Still, I tried to tell myself that things were okay. I was still pretty healthy, and I considered myself attractive, up to a point. It wasn't until my friend Jenna's bachelorette party in Vegas where things came to a head. My friends are all skinny, and I knew that there would be more men interested in them. This had always frustrated me, because they seem to be able to eat whatever they want. I had accepted that they just have it easier, and that's just the way life is. I even shrugged off when I was talking to a guy and could hear his friends whisper, "He's a chubby chaser," and start laughing at us. But nothing could prepare me for the humiliation to come. My friend had VIP tickets to get us into a Vegas club in front of the line. I was so excited, and was dolled up in my best makeup. And I was wearing what I thought was my sexiest outfit. We walked to the front of the line, and my friend went to get her VIP tickets out. The bouncer said, "Oh, VIP access ended at 9 p.m, but of course I'll let you pretty ladies in. It is nice being a girl in Vegas." We began to walk in, and then the bouncer roughly put his arm in front of me and said, "Sorry, we're full now." His big arm almost knocked me backward and made me fall. But it was my self-esteem that really got destroyed at that moment. I said, "What? What do you mean?" He said, "That's all I can let in." Something sounded fishy, so my friend called the doorman out. "Hey, there's no way the club is too full for one more person." He said, "I'm sorry, but to be honest, your friend is just too big. I'm supposed to let pretty women in front, but she's too fat." I was mortified. This was happening in front of dozens of people near the doorway. And I could already hear a couple guys laughing at me. One even took his phone out to start filming the argument. I held back from crying right there. But the truth is, I wanted the ground to just swallow me up at that moment. I did my best to pull myself together. Me and my friends were going to find another club. Or we'd all wait in the very back of the line together. We certainly weren't going to listen to this jerk bouncer. But then Jenna waved to me from inside and said, "Bye Cara, we'll see you at the hotel. Have a good night." And they just went off to dance without me. There I was. In Vegas. Alone. Humiliated by not just a bouncer, but what I thought were my best friends. I was tired of being the fat chick in the group. I was tired of being the type of woman that men settle for. Tired of being the type that men want to hook up with but not date. And never bring around their friends or family. And I was done with being the woman that couldn't look herself in the mirror when getting out of the shower. If I was honest with myself, I really didn't like who I was. I hated being in restaurants and wondering if people were judging me for ordering dessert. I hated trying to enjoy the occasional fast food burger. Just to wonder if someone was looking at me thinking, "See, this is why she's so fat." And it just wasn't fair. I didn't feel like I was overeating, and my skinny friends spent more time texting at the gym than actually exercising. I went back to the hotel and cried. I wasn't going to tolerate this anymore. I immediately packed up my things and went to the airport. The ladies could party without me. I was going to figure this out once and for all. I took my flight back to Denver, but it had a long delay. There I was, stuck in the airport, wondering how matters could get any worse. I might as well have just stayed the night at the hotel if I was going to be stuck sitting around the airport anyway. Next to me was a beautiful skinny blonde woman. She looked great, and that just made me angry. She had done nothing wrong, but the last thing I needed was to be next to someone that had it all. But then I saw the headline on the newspaper she was reading. I said, "Hey, could I read that when you're done?" She said, "No, I'm keeping this. My friend was featured in it." I said, "Really? For what?" She said, "Well, not exactly featured, but he does the same thing. He helps people lose weight with hypnosis." I said, "There's no way that can work." She said, "See for yourself. Go to abcnews.com on your phone and look it up." I checked, and could not believe what I saw. Here was the story of Kay Linley, 59 years old and 315 pounds. She had gone through a multi-day hypnosis session, where they made her imagine she was getting gastric bypass surgery. In the months ahead, she lost a full 70 pounds. And did not gain it back. I thought this had to be a fluke, but it turns out this hypnotic procedure had worked hundreds of times. I was still skeptical though. But there's no way this can work. It's calories in, calories out, I said. I was simply just parroting the health stuff I had read in the past, but I was starting to see how maybe I had believed the hype too easily. She said, "That's all BS. You don't even need to worry about calories." My ego kicked in, and I said, "No way. There was no way it could be that easy. Right?" I felt almost offended that there could be hundreds of people losing weight without having to do a crazy diet or workout plan. And secretly, part of me was screaming, this would never work for me anyway. I was about to get up and walk to another terminal to wait. When she took out a photo out of her purse of a very overweight woman. I was thinking, okay great, now she's going to tell me about her friend who lost a few pounds using hypnosis. But then she said, "This is me." I said, "No way," and grabbed the photo. Yep, this was me 6 months ago. I keep it in my purse to remind me how far I've come. The change in weight was so huge that I couldn't believe it. I looked very closely at her face and then the face in the photo just to be sure. But it was true, she had lost all this weight. From that moment, she had 100% of my attention. She told me about her friend Anthony Swales. This guy doesn't do an in-person clinic where you have to wait for days. He actually does the same thing through Skype sessions. And the results are just unreal. She told me the story about how Anthony first discovered hypnosis when he was a soccer player who wanted to go pro. In Australia, he was in the 5th division out of 10, which was pretty much average as far as amateurs go. Lessons and practice were not getting him anywhere. He needed to try something new. Just like I did. So he started researching hypnosis, NLP, timeline therapy, transcendental meditation, and many other mind-body practices. In a matter of months, he went from Division 5 to Division 1, all without changing anything in his practice. Soon other players noticed and started paying him for help, even though he had 0 credentials at the time. Before he knew it, he was running a full clinic where he hypnotized soccer players into playing better and becoming the MVPs of their teams. He was happy to see these results, but at some point, he asked himself, is this all there is? So he turned his attention to something more important. Helping people like you and me lose weight. Anthony saw that there were millions of people all over the world that were utterly frustrated with carrying ugly fat. He saw we were feeling bad about ourselves, losing confidence. And that a lot of us were just unhealthy too. And looking at major problems later in life if we didn't get this taken care of. Plus, he saw that a lot of hypnotherapists were doing it wrong, even if they were trying. A lot of hypnotists simply didn't have the full picture of what worked. So even though he already knew he could get results, he went to the Academy of Hypnotic Sciences and graduated. Just to be sure he knew everything he could about hypnotic weight loss. I was blown away with what this woman was telling me. But I had to ask, what does he do different from the other hypnotherapists? She told me that it was very simple. It is the golden prize that allows you total control of your mind and body. But 99% of therapists, coaches, and even hypnotists try to do their work when a client is in beta state. That's when the subconscious has all of its defenses up. It's like a fortress that no one can get through. So of course hypnosis won't work then. Now you can meditate for a half hour and maybe get into an alpha state. But that only gives you maybe 10% of what you can do in theta state. And it's rare that anyone who's not a Buddhist monk can get into theta state right away. But thanks to the brand new science of cymatics, there is a breakthrough that can allow anyone to get into theta state. In just minutes. Scientists discovered that if you get your left brain and right brain to sync together in their brain waves, that you instantly and automatically reach that powerful theta state. This means that your creative and logical minds work together, instead of fight each other, which is what happens with most people. Most of the time, we're either daydreaming with our creative mind, or trying to figure stuff out with our logical mind. If you want to lose that dreaded fat, you have to do whatever it takes. Are you willing to do that for your own success? Well, something about my VIP line story intrigued him. And he agreed to give me a session the following week, as long as I did everything he told me. My first session with him, I honestly can't remember. It was a whirlwind of words, music, and vibrations. He had me use a Skype call with him and use headphones, while he played the cymatic frequencies into the call, and gave me quiet hypnotic suggestions I could barely hear. While I can't remember the specifics of the call itself, all I know is the next day, I had no desire to eat any junk food. Instead I had the lust for a carrot. I bit into it, and as I tasted the juiciness, I was shocked to find that I was enjoying vegetables more than I did ice cream and cookies. It wasn't that I thought junk food was gross now. It's just that I could have a dessert when it made sense, and didn't feel any need for it otherwise. I started enjoying going for walks, and soon, going to the gym. It didn't feel like a chore either. It was something I wanted to do. And I felt great after. Check it out now. Get for more information below at the description. Lornephil.